Hi everybody, Karen Trolfa here. Welcome to Stampers Club. I'm really enjoying that you guys are liking my channel. It's kind of nice to communicate with everybody and get all the feedback on whether you like what I'm doing for you or not. Of course, there's always changes that can be made. I am open for suggestions. Anytime you want to help me out and give me some ideas and things you want to learn, let me know. Put them in the comments. Pop on over to my blog at stampersclub.com. Any of those will work to get a hold of me. But today I have a brand new bundle that I have to share with you. It's called Seaside Wishes. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so we have two cards and this little box that opens a little uniquely. So you're going to kind of like how that works out. And then what I'm using is the Seaside Wishes stamp set and the coordinating dies. This is a hybrid embossing folder type die. So it has an embossing folder that goes with it, but it works in conjunction with the dies. And that's kind of a unique thing to do too. If you've not seen how the hybrid folders work, this is the video for you for sure. All right, let me show you how we're gonna make all this. Let me set this aside so it's out of my way. And we are going to start with, let's see, we're going to start with this card. All right, so what I have, let me move that out of the way a little bit too. Move this, yeah, we'll do that. Disorganized today. Happy Mother's Day to all of you moms out there. Even if you're a mom of a little kitty cat or a little puppy dog, you're still a mom. So happy Mother's Day to you, and I hope you're having a really great day. I'm going to have company a little bit later, so that'll be fun. My husband's making a nice dinner for us. All right, so what I've started out with is some Summer Splash cardstock. This is a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Tripping over my own words here. So it's 8.5 by 5.5. And this is one of the new in colors for 2024 to 2026. Those change every 2 years, or they change every year, but they're around for 2 years. So if you like these colors, make sure you grab them and get stocked up on them. All right, so I'm gonna score that at 4 1/4 and fold it in half. Use my bone folder to give it a nice crease. And then I also grabbed a piece of the DSP that came in the Unbounded Beauty Designer Series paper, which is has a ton of the new in colors in it. This is the Peach Pie and this is the Summer Splash, but has a great coordination with all of this year's in colors actually. I'm just going to put that on top of some basic white, give it a little bit of depth, a little bit of highlighting, I guess is what the matting does for me, right? I'm going to get this taped on the front of my card. Okay. And then we're going to have, excuse me, this is another new basic beige that came into our product line this year, which is, I don't know how we didn't have this color before. It is just absolutely amazing in cardstock. All right, and then I've got two of my sand dollars on there. So I'm just going to put basic beige ink right on there. And we'll get it stamped. I know this is a big stamp, right? All right, get that on there. Make sure you watch some of my other videos for the tips on how I get these stamps lined up on these things to fit in the embossing folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the die, the 3 dies, right? And the embossing folder. I'm going to have to move some stuff out of my way here to get this to all fit. But when you open this up, you're going to see that this is going to lay, oh, I have to do it this way. It only fits one way. I'm going to put this die literally right in the embossing folder. I know that kind of sounds weird, right? But it kind of like fits in, and it like you'll feel it kind of like notch down in where it goes, all right? Now I'm going to put this over, and I'm going to line up my image. So I'm just kind of holding it together there. I'm going to line up my image and close my, whoop, I slid it just a little bit. Close my embossing folder. I got my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine here. I only need the bottom base plate. Then I'm going to put my folder in on there, and then the gray impression plate is going to get on there also. Let's get this cranked through here. Table's not shaking too bad. I am back in Michigan and I have a sturdier table here than I have in Florida. So it doesn't jiggle the camera as much. All right, so I know it sounds a little weird that you put that die right in that folder. You would think it would cut the folder up, but it doesn't. It doesn't do any damage at all to the folder. And look, you have 3. I've stamped 2. I'm going to reserve this one because I want it again. But look at how the beautiful embossing happens at the same exact time that we're cutting this out. And then this just has a little bit more color to it because I stamped them, right? All right, so put that back aside. Throw that away. I'm going to save this piece because we're going to use it on another card. All right, so get my card base back in here. Now I've already pre-cut out one of the little spongy looking pieces, kind of still the same shape as a sand dollar, but I think it's to represent some sea sponge. And then some of the starfish out. These are just in Calypso Coral. And this is in the In Color Glimmer paper. So the same Summer Splash color is in that package. It comes in 12 by 12 sheets. All right, so I'm going to get this. Just want this probably right about, I don't know, probably right about there. That looks good. Then I'm going to get my bigger one of the 2 and some dimensionals. Get some of these on here. Girl's best friend. They're like diamonds. Dimensional, diamond, you know, they're kind of interchangeable. A girl just has to have them. All right, let's put this right about here. That looks good. And then I'm going to get some tape on here. You notice I'm using my backing from the dimensionals. It kind of makes it so that the tape doesn't stick through everything. So you just get a nice little tape here. I'm going to put that, I just need to tape it a little bit. I'm just going to give that, oh, maybe about like that. And then this one, I'm going to put on double dimensionals because I already have one there and I want it to be popped up a little bit higher. So let's get a couple of these. Peel those backings off. I know this card looks like it's got a lot going on when you first see it, but as you can see, it goes together pretty quickly. And then let me get a little baby dimensional for my other little baby starfish. So when I'm in Florida, we actually come across these guys quite often in the ocean. We have a small little boat that we go out in the mangrove areas in the back bay, and you get to see all these cute little things. Starfish and sand dollars, actually. There was a whole bunch of little tiny sand dollars on the beach a couple of weeks ago that were just super cute. I've never seen them. I've never been able to collect them when they're that tiny because they usually get broke up pretty easy. All right, then I'm going to get some pretty peacock and my greeting. You absolutely made my day. You know, all of you guys do make my day. When I see you on here following along with me, it just makes my heart happy. All right, we're going to stamp that right onto another piece of the Summer Splash cardstock. It's a nice contrasting color instead of black. And I have scissors here somewhere. Well, I'll just get another pair. I have like, how many pairs of scissors do you have? I'd love to see that in the comments. How many pairs does everybody have? All right, I'm just going to cut that on an angle. Get rid of my trash here. And another dimensional. I'm just going to start with one in the middle. I think that should be enough. And we're just going to go right across the top here, just like that. If you feel like you're dimensional, like you need more dimensionals, just remember they need to be like triple stacked here, because you've got one here and two here, that makes three, right? So you got to triple stack it if you're going to put any more. But I think that is absolutely lovely. You know what this card is missing, and I didn't do on the first one, is I didn't put on any of these wonderful little these little great little guys here. Let's see, do I want to go with the green or the blue? I think I'll keep it with the blue. So let me add a couple of these little guys. These are the shimmer gems. Whoops, pop that right off. Stampin' Up's In Colors shimmer gems. I'll get another little tiny one up here. Ooh, yes, much better. Look at that. Look at how much more this just did. It makes like little water drops. I mean, in comparison to one without it. I mean, it just says, oh yeah, wow, let me get that. All right, so let's get to the next card. Put that aside. And for that one, again, I'm going to score at 4 1/4, okay? But also, if you don't want to score, which, you know, sometimes you just don't have a quick scoreboard with you, an alternative is to fold the paper and meet these bottom edges. This, though, a bone folder is very important to have at this when you do it this way. And then start at the bottom and kind of go on an angle and go across. And you'll also get that nice sharp edge without bending and creasing your paper. Okay, so if you don't have a scoring tool, that's okay. There's an alternative that works out just fine. All right, so for that one, we're going to go back to this embossing folder. I'm going to get a piece of Whisper white paper, and I'm going to open this up. I'm going to grab some Pool Party ink and a sponge dauber. And what I want to do is I want to add some ink right to this folder. Let's see if I can get it not on there. What if I do it on the white? Maybe that'll work. And I just want to get it right on these little dots. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting it, I don't want it on the sand dollar. I just want it on these little bubbles. You don't have to do the whole thing because cardstock's not going to meet it all, but just get these little bubbles on here. Okay. So, you know, you just kind of want some color. And it's okay to add, that's why I'm not using a brayer, because I don't want to get any ink on the sand dollar portion. So that's why I'm using a sponge dauber. Keeps it off of there. All right, that looks like it's enough ink. Okay. Now I'm going to take my paper again, and I'm going to put it, I guess I can do it this way too. I just want to put the paper kind of like towards the bottom, because I want a little more of those little bubbles. There, right like that. Close my folder. The same sandwich with your Stampin' Cut and Emboss, where you have the base plate, the embossing folder, which I'm putting in hinge in. It helps save some wear and tear on your folders when you do it that way. And you always want to have a plate on top of your folders. If you do your folder through there without the plate, it tends to curve the folder. It kind of stretches it a little bit. And having that plate on top is very important. Now this one is a 3D, which is why I'm using the impression plate. If it was a standard folder, I would use 2 clear plates. All right, set that aside. And let's see what we have here. Look at that. And then of course, you know, you'll just take a wet wipe and get your ink off your folder. All right, clean that right up. All right, perfect. All right, so what I did is I ended up adding like a little bit of color to the little bubbles, just so I had not just a pure white background. But see how this just beautifully embosses also, just even for a background piece. Okay, so again, to accent this white paper, I'm going to mat it on some Pretty Peacock. Get that matted right down there. All right, and then this is going to get put right onto the card base. Of course, I'll have some dimensions for all of this for you over on my blog, either later tonight or in the morning, depending on when my company shows up. It might not post till tomorrow morning, but we'll get you some or dimensions, so that if you want to recreate this, you can go over there and get a little tutorial. All right, so this piece of Pretty Peacock I had cut with the Everyday Detail dies. So I had stacked 2 dies together. What happens is you get this little cutout out of the center of it. So it's like a die. So I just nested 2 dies together to get this little frame piece. And I'm just going to add some dimensionals in the corners. I'm using white dimensionals. I know there's holes here, but you're not going to see them because it's on white cardstock. So you're not really going to notice that they're underneath there. All right. And we're going to just put that right in the middle. Just like, I'm going to do one side and I'm going to let it stretch over so that it maintains its little window part. You can always add extra dimensionals under there if you need them, but I didn't find it really necessary. All right, and then I had also cut out some of the little seaweed pieces out of that same designer paper from Unbounded Love. Thank you, whoever's sending me hearts. That's awful nice of you. Okay, and then I'm going to get that reserved sand dollar. So this was the 3rd one that cut out when we did the first card. So I set that aside and reserved it. And we're going to get, let me pull this back in here too. All right, so I want this little piece here. I'm just going to kind of build this out. And I'm going to slide this one behind here. I want it to be pretty far over, as far over as I can get it and not hit that dimensional over there. Okay, and then this one I'm going to put on a dimensional. Actually, I'll put it on 2 so it stays, doesn't spin on me. Sometimes they spin when you only use one. And I'm going to do that one just over the top of it. Okay, and I'm going to add my sand dollar. Now for this, I'm actually going to put the dimensionals right here on the frame, maybe. And one over here on the frame. And then I can put my sand dollar right in the corner there. About like that. Okay. And then I'm going to stack a couple together and support that center. It'll give it a nice little support there. All right, so let's see here. I need this little guy. We're going to put a little tape on him. And I'm going to just add a little bit of seaweed here. I think I'm going to put it a little further, right, maybe right there. Oh, I don't like that. Let's go over. I want it to kind of like tie in with these guys. All right. So now we're going to get some white cardstock and our 2 little starfish. All right, and I need a big one. This is Calypso Coral ink. And I need 2 little guys. Okay. And then I can get my little one out here. This one's a little easier on my table. And for this you need a base plate, a number 1 plate, a clear plate. Get my dies. And these line up actually pretty easy. This guy's got this little curved little leg. His leg's a little curved. All right, and these ones, You kind of got to play with this for a second to figure out which is the top one, but when it fits, it fits. It's like you can suddenly see everything correctly. Now on the mini machine, if you offset your plates just a little bit, they tend to go through the machine just a little bit easier. I just spun that. Look at that. Didn't mean to do that. I was trying to explain how you offset those plates, and there it goes. All right, and we're just going to set that down on top of that. And then it'll crank through. It almost like steps up. So if you have like a little step, see how these are like just offset, 1, 2, 3. Then it'll go through a whole lot faster. All right, set that aside. And I happen to have one already there made, so we don't have to do that a second time. You have to watch me do that part. Set these aside over here. Bring my card base back in there. And I'm going to get one of these on a baby dimensional. Don't you love these little mini ones? I loved when these came out. It was like, that's so super cute. All right, I'm going to put one guy up there. This one, again, I'm going to put him on a real dimensional because I want him to have a little more stability. I'm going to get him right. Let's put him right over the top. I like him in that direction. Right over the top of the tail of that little seaweed, so it kind of hides the fact that it just kind of ends. And we'll get another little dimensional here. Yeah, one's good. And stack that down there. And then I have another little piece of the Summer Splash. Bring that pretty peacock back in. And then this greeting, your friendship is the best gift. And again, you guys are the best friends ever because you share my love for what we're doing here. Not everybody gets it, ladies, I know. But, you know, when you get it, you get it. Perfect. And again, I'm using a darker tone on colored cardstock. And I'm going to just do this the simple way and just cut these edges. Gives it a little bit of character. And I'm going to double stack on one side. Because I'm going to set it down in there. I'm going to kind of tuck it in between these two little pieces right here. Yeah, like that. Perfect. All right, let's grab some of those shimmer glems. Shimmer glems. Now, I'm not sure what a glem is, but we're going to go with them, right? Shimmer gems. And let's get one here. Pop another one there. We'll take this one that I already decided to pop off. No, I think I'll put it on the starfish. Sand dollar. Got to get my animals correct here. And voila. Isn't that adorable? I love the sea colors. I just love this color. It looks like water. It's like perfect, right? Okay, so now for that box. And again, we all know that this, boxes always can be a challenge if you don't have that, math brain. Fortunately, I have somewhat of a math brain as being an accountant and in an engineering people that I deal with all the time. You kind of got to know that. All right, so I have a piece of cardstock that's 8.5 by 4.5. And on this direction, I'm going to, oh, look, I got ink on it. Look at that, I got ink on it. Somehow I wore ink, but that doesn't surprise me. All right, so this, on the 4.5 inch side, I'm going to start scoring it at a ½ inch, but rather than do the ½ inch where the paper's hanging off like this, it doesn't have much support and then it can twist, I'm going to just start this way. And I'm going to fold this over so that ends up on the inside of my box. All right, so we're going to do a ½ inch and then 1 inch. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do 3.5 and 4. It's still both sides, it's 1/2 inch and 1 inch when you get all said and done. So I could have just done the same thing here, but I also had the measurements that way. And then in this direction, we're going to start at 2.5, 3, 5.5, and 6. Okay. And again, I'll have this instruction sheet on my blog here tomorrow. All right, so we're going to cut parts of this off. So this one we're going to cut up here, and we're going to cut this little section off. And then I always kind of V my pieces just so that they fold together a little bit. Want that one there. This one here. And then I just want to cut off, oh, I want to cut up this way too. All the way. I'm going to cut that up there. And I want to cut this off. Just one piece of it, not both pieces of it. And I'm going to V this one out a little bit too. Okay, and then flip it around. And we're going to cut this one. And we're going to cut both sides off, both of these little pieces off, or score spots here. We're going to go all the way to the second score line. Cut this up to the center line, or the second line. And then the same thing here. And here. And then this one, we're just going to cut off at the first score line. All right. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. All right, now I'm going to bring my scoring board back in, or my cutter back in with my score tool, and I need to get some angles. So I want to have the angle be from this little inside corner to the first score line here. Okay, hold that down and score that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I want to go on the inside corner to this score line here. And I'm just lining that up into the center groove here. And just score that. All right, set that aside. And we can assemble our box. Sometimes this is where liquid glue comes in handy also. Also, if you burnish your score lines with your bone folder, they will be a little crisper. Also that way. And then these ultimately are going to get scored backwards. Okay, let's do these ones. It does help. And then this again is going to get scored open backwards. So your box ultimately, let me lay that flat for you. You're going to end up with these little pieces coming back this way. But to get our box put together, see if I can get this without having too much glue on my hands. I could use sticky tape, but I'm just going to use glue. And I want to put some glue there. Oh, look, my little smudge is going to get totally hidden. That's where I have that ink at right there. It's going to get totally hidden on the inside of the box. And some glue there. Let's fold that over so I can see it. Okay. And then what's going to happen is this is almost an origami fold. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right here because this is going to fold down in and give you a nice clean little edge there. Let's see if I can open that up for you. There you go. All right, so that's that side. And then we'll do the same to this side. I'm going to get some glue on the back side of those. Fold that up. This is where sticky strip probably would help because you would not have to hold it. It wouldn't pop off, but I really like liquid glue. It takes a second to hold, but it's pretty quick. Let's fold that in there and fold those down. Get a nice little crisp edge there, okay? Now these are meant to fold in, okay? And it's going to be one side of the box. Oh, I don't have this curved enough here. Let's get, if you find it it's a little hard to go in, actually do those on an angle. And then it'll slide right in there, okay? So the box is actually going to be where it opens up one way and then the other way. Let me glue these pieces down here. Just add some adhesive there for that box lid so it quits spinning around on me. And the same on this side. Okay. Looks like I didn't score it to the right corner there, right? See that? I didn't get it right in the corner. It still is working though. Let's close that back up. Let me put this one on an angle too. Okay. And then the box. So it opens with the triangles. You close one side and then close the other side. All right, so I'm going to take a piece of 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 of that same designer paper from the Unbounded Love, and I'm going to cut that on an angle. Same thing, I'm just going to line up the center of the groove there on my board, and I need to just cut that in half. Want to decorate these two little triangles, don't we? Add some liquid glue on that. Green glue is my favorite. I use this all the time. Get some on that side. A little goes a long way, so you don't want to put like a huge bead on there. I actually let the tip sit right on the paper. That way I just get this like a little film almost. All right, and get that there. Now this would be great for little square candies, jewelry, little necklace. That would be really cute too. And let's see here. I need ribbon. There we go, ribbon. All right, so I'm gonna tie a bow around this box. I know, you thought we were gonna get away with ribbon. Ha, not. All right, let's do that. Make a bow here. Now the trick with ribbon is to make sure that it stays as flat as possible as you're making your turns. So the only time it's going to turn is kind of like when you first start it. And we're going to pull one side and hold the middle. I'm going to pull the other side and give it another little yank there. Same thing, do one side and the other. That one started to fold over. I don't want it to fold over. Okay, scissors. Trim that off. All right, so we have a cute little bow on there. All right, now I'm going to need another one of these little guys here, okay? And do you think I had oh no, I already pre-cut it. Sorry, ha, I already pre-did it, so you don't have to watch me. So this is another one of the sand dollars. It's the medium-sized one, okay? And I'm gonna put this right on the edge here. I want this bow to kind of like be right on the edge. Then I'm gonna add dimensionals onto the ribbon. So I'm going to put one here because I want the ribbon to be able to be undone or slid off the box without being attached to the box, okay? So I'm going to put the dimensionals on the ribbon. It's a good way to adhere. There's still a type of an adhesive technically, so it's still going to hold everything together. And I want to put my little sand dollar right there in the middle. Isn't he cute? Make sure he's stuck down good. There he is. Okay. And that way you could slide this whole thing off, or when you undo the bow, it'll come off also, and then your embellishment stays on the ribbon. Okay, and then I have I have this tiny one here, and I used petal pink paper. So petal pink cardstock on that. I'm going to get a dimensional. I'm going to put it down here. I'm just going to put it like right there. That'll work. I know, you can see it, right? Doesn't that look weird? See, you can see it, but we're going to hide it. Don't worry. I'm going to put that right there. Okay. And then I'm going to put another dimensional right over the top of that. All right. And I'm going to get some Calypso Coral paper and Calypso Coral ink and the little starfish. Okay. Stamp before we die cut. I am missing the die for the little guy here. All right, so did he get caught up in the... Wow, it's pretty weird when you have a whole die go missing, eh, ladies? It didn't get stuck to my mini machine over here. Well, okay, where's my die? Did you ever have that happen? It just goes away. Well, you know what'll show up when I clean up my mess? So we're going to do this the old-fashioned way real quick here because I can't find the die. I just used it for the other card, so we know it's here somewhere. But I'm just going to go ahead and cut these out because, as you know, dies are just fancy scissors. We're just going to give this guy a little spin here. You get the gist. I'm not going to spend 20 minutes hunting for a die while you guys are all sitting there watching me. That would be somewhat embarrassing, wouldn't it? For like ever. All right. He's not as pretty as he would be if I had the die, but we all understand. So where we have that little dimensional that I did up there, we're just going to add him right to the center there, and that dimensional gets hidden. Okay. So we're going to show you the one that's die cut prettier, right? Isn't that adorable, right? I say we need a gem. I think we need one gem. We're going to get one gem. Perfect. Got to give it a little spunk, right? All right. So we had this card and this card and the little triangle box. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Wow, that was just shake the table, wasn't it? I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and that you learned something. And again, the details will end up being on my blog tomorrow. So you'll get all the dimensions on all the sizes of all the paper. And then again, a little template of the box so that you can create your own box. Be sure to give me some thumbs up, little likes, comments. Love, love, love comments, guys. It's always fun to hear from you, and it lets me know what to do next and what I can do to help you become the crafter of your dreams, right? Because we all want to get better and we all want new ideas. And love, love, love that you visited with me today. Happy Mother's Day to all my moms out there. And you ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend. Bye now.